Hey everyone, what's up? Hi. I guess I'm live now. Um, how's everyone doing? Um, I've been doing pretty good. Let me see some of the comments right here. Um, hey everyone. Hey Daniel. Hey Master G. Hey Richter. Hey Joshua. Hi. How are you guys doing? I'm doing great. Um, well, first of all, I think let me explain sort of what is remix and jam. So, if you guys watch the videos, right, like mix and jam is just these projects where I go through the steps of how to recreate things from games, right? And so remix is basically the idea that we're going to revisit those projects and then just like open the Unity project and like recreate some of the steps. I don't want to like drag too long, but I'll definitely go through most of the steps. Uh, let me just see. Let me just see some of the comments. What's going right now? So, um, let's see. I was running on the park. Now I'm sitting watching this. Thank you so much, One Man Army Gaming HD. Thank you so much for stopping your run to watch. It means a lot to me. Currents in the back. I see you. Yes, Currents and DXX. Well, anyways, so on this remix episode, I guess, we're gonna take a look at the steps I took to recreate the Kingdom Select on the Mario Odyssey video, and so I'll jump into the Unity project real soon. But first, obviously, I want to read some of the comments and like just warm up so we can get started, right? Let's see. Sound is a little low. Is sound better now? Let me know. Daniel Machado, please let me know if this sounds better now. Hey everyone. Hey Breezy. Hey D Writer. Yeah. It's so Paul says it's 1 a.m. where I live, but who cares? I don't know. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for not sleeping. I guess it means a lot. This is about the time is that currently this is the best time for me to make the streams. Eventually I'll have more time to be like make a schedule that's like a midpoint that I can work with you guys, like a time that works for both like multiple regions, like a best time. uh yeah, so hi guys. Yes, 1 a.m. here. Hi Changi. 1 a.m. Oh my god, so many people from 1 a.m. Night Steel asks, where are you from? I'm from Brazil, Night. Yeah, I'm from Brazil, South America. Hi to everyone out there. 2 a.m. Yeah. Oh my God, you guys. Thank you so much for for staying with me for this thingy. But why don't we jump in right into Unity? The thing is, like, since I'm going to be working with Unity, I won't be able to be reading much as the comments. I'll try to like stop every now and then to like look at the comments. I have a notebook right here where I'll try to like keep reading comments, but I'll just go straight up to the Unity project, and then, you know, you guys are you guys are welcome to comment, and I'll take a look at it as best as I can. I promise. But thank you. First of all, thank you so much for watching. Obviously, I'm excited that you guys are here, and I'm excited to be doing this new remix and jam thing. And obviously, like, I don't know if everyone knows, I've been doing these videos and I've been enjoying it, and like I've been wanting to invest more time on it. More, I wanna do more research. I want to do more projects, and if you want to help the channel grow and support the channel in some way, I just like started a Patreon, which is the link is right here. So basically the idea is that with the Patreon, you'll be able to help me out, like help Mix and Jam grow, and just like I'll be able to work on more projects and get other games, and you get to suggest other ideas for stuff. We're good about that. And Jay asked if I will host a game jam. That's a plan definitely for the future. I want to host a game jam, and let me know if you guys think that's interesting, like a game jam host. But I won't take long. This is let's open Unity. So this is the Unity project. Sorry, there you go. This is the original Kingdom Select project, right? So here's the big main like sphere. I'll just get some of these gizmos like smaller. So if you haven't seen the video, basically what I do is I create points in the sphere, just like Mario Odyssey. Like there are points in the sphere where I can travel to, and when I play the game, let's just run that down. There you go. See, like, oops, I have to click it. Yeah. So when I click on the points, I mean on the actual tags for the worlds, it navigates through those worlds. And so if we take a look at the background, like at the behind the scenes, what is happening here is that what's moving is the camera. Like you see this little camera icon. What's actually moving is the camera. Like you could do this multiple ways. Like you can make the sphere rotate, right? But like in the game, what actually moves is the camera. So like this was a very cool thing to do, because what happens here in the project, in the left side, as you can see here, what happens is I can create a list of like worlds, and then I can name them and then set their position. I'll show this not on the play mode. So like, for example, this first world here, right? I can drag it and I have a gizmo that shows me how to like, where is that going to be positioned in the world. So I'll just go through the steps I did. I'll create a new scene. This is on the project. By the way, this is on the project, the original GitHub project, and all of the Mix and Jam projects are available on GitHub, and you can download the source code, and you can take a look at it, and then you can twist around. You can do whatever you want with it. It's pretty cool. Let me just read more comments. People will love a game jam. That's exciting to know. Okay. I wish I could keep watching, but I have to go. That's so sad, man. Thank you so much for joining. Seriously, it's so good to have you guys here. Your camera is focusing your face, not Unity. Well, I thought the Unity screen is just like normal. But okay, let's see. Oh, it's on my face. Damn. What about now? Huh. Sorry about that. This is the Unity thing. I thought it did I'm starting to learn how to use OBS, and now every time I change to like the Unity window, it's supposed to change to the Unity thing. But you know what? I'll just remove those automatic transitions. I think it's working now, right? Like, let me try the Visual Studio window. There you go. What about? The Unity window is not working anymore, is it? Okay. It's all good. I'll just remove those. Yeah, I thought OBS was ready for everything. Okay. So anyways, let's just go straight it and create a new scene where we can take a look at things. So I'm just going to create a new scene for Unity. And then the new scene is going to be remix, right? This is our thing. And then I don't want to save changes I did on that scene. So this is a Unity scene. I suppose you guys have seen this a lot, an empty game scene, right? So the first thing I did to start with this project was like, okay, so you have a sphere, right? Is the world on Mario Odyssey or whatever, and then like you want to be able to like put like points in the world at like exactly on the sphere's edge. So the way I did that is like, okay, so I created first a 3D object, a 3D sphere, right? And then I'm just gonna position it on 0, 0, 0, and this is the Unity sphere, right, on the center of the scene. And then like one thing I noticed, right, like that like the grid on Unity, it's based on units, right? This is 1 unit, this is 2 units. And so the sphere, the scale of the sphere is actually like half a unit. So if you look on the top perspective, right, this is half a unit. So what this means is I can actually like create childs to that sphere. So for example, I just created a child for it, right here. And then when I create another child inside of that like child, I can, for example, let's do another sphere, which is a smaller one, and I move it all the way on until 0.5, right? It's exactly on the sphere's edge. So if I get that parent object, I can rotate it. I can rotate it like this, right? So that's the basis for it. We want to create worlds, those points, based on what we rotate on this axis, which is the z-axis, and then this axis, which is the y-axis. Is that correct? Because, okay. Yeah. So, let me see if anyone has more questions. The Visual Studio window looked really small. Yeah, like I have to fix that too. Apparently, because I thought OBS had me figured out, but that's okay. So yeah, so basically, like the idea is to create a sphere and then create objects on it, right? So let's do that. Of course, this is a sphere, and then we want to create our script. I won't be super organized right now, but this is the basis for the thing. I also want to move the camera a little bit closer to our sphere. So you have the small sphere and one game like remove so you don't turn the bigger. So you don't have the small sphere, one game object remove so you don't turn the biggest sphere. No, like the thing is, it doesn't need to be a sphere. It just can be an empty game object, a point, just a point in the world. Like it's good for you to create a sphere because you want to visualize it better. But for instance, so you have a sphere. Let's just create the script for it, and I think with script you guys will be able to understand. So I'll call this, I don't know, like remix Odyssey, right? This is the main script. This is the thing that's going to be our game manager, I suppose. And so if you go to this, right, it's gonna open up on Visual Studio, and I have to change that on OBS now. Cool. So this is I'll zoom it in. I think that's best for everyone, right? So what we want to do is that we want to create a list of points in the world, and then we want to instantiate those objects. So even before we start the script, we need to create a prefab. There's plenty of ways of doing this, but I think that creating prefabs is a pretty good way. So for example, what I'm going to do here is I'm creating an empty game object, right? That empty game object is inside the sphere. And then on that game object, I'm just going to call this pivot, right? Because we just want this to be the pivot of the rotation. And then on that pivot, I create another empty game object, or it could just be a sphere. In this case, I'm just going to do a sphere because you want to visualize it better. So for example, if you turn that down, and if you move that sphere on half, see, if I hold control, it snaps on the grid, and it will move exactly here. So that game object is the parent of the visualizer, like the little point in the world. So this is what we're going to turn into a prefab. And if you don't know, prefabs are just objects you can store on your assets. Then you can instantiate them, do whatever you want. And then prefabs are super useful. Let me just read some of the comments. Can I ask a question? How did you learn code? I want to get into the game development, and I don't know how to code from scratch, and all the tutorials I've watched doesn't help. And I really want to get into game development. I've learned most with like practice. I've messed up so much in Unity that like eventually you get the point. Like, but I think that there's Udemy courses that are pretty good, and I think that Bracky's videos are super cool too. But anyways, getting back to the thing. So I'm just gonna create a material for this visual point so that we can see it better. So I'm just call it red. And then I'm gonna apply that material to the point and then put something like a reddish, right? It looks like a clown, but let's make the sphere smaller, right? This is just a point. So again, what we wanna do is that this point will rotate every time we want to instantiate a point, right? And then set its rotation. So what we want to do is we want to save this pivot object as a prefab. So I'm just going to save it as a prefab. Bang, right? And then that's a prefab. So if we get back to the script, I don't know if this is too large. I made it larger for the screen. So let me know if that's good. But what we're gonna do here is, first of all, let's create a class, right? A class or a struct. It doesn't really matter, but like let's create it like public class. Let's call it kingdom, right? We want to create a class for the kingdom, like the actual point in the world, the actual level, whatever. So that class will have like a public string name, public. Why is it not working? Oh yeah, we already sorry. Kingdom point doesn't really matter, like kingdom point. So it'll have a name, and most importantly, it will have like a vector 2 of like a position, right? Which is just gonna determine like on an angle of 360 what position is going to be it. So don't forget to like system serialize this, because to make it system serializable, because if you don't do this, you won't be able to see and modify the list on the inspector. Yeah. So for example, what I want to do here is on my variables, I want to create a public kingdom point, right? An array of kingdom points. We're just going to call them kingdoms, right? So you have this array. So if I go back to Unity, for example, then you can, let's attach this. We didn't actually like attach the script anywhere. So let's just do this. Create an empty game object on 0, 0, 0, like the other one, and just make the sphere just like a child of it, so we can organize. And this we'll call remix, kingdom select, right? And let's attach our script, this remix Odyssey, right? Shouldn't that class be private? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, I think if it's public, it will be able to show up in the inspector, but I think that privates work too. We'll just test that right now. Oh, there you go. It has to be public, so you have access to it. Right, I forgot about that. So for example, for that array of kingdoms, is it showing Unity right now? Yeah. So for that array, see, like you can create new kingdoms. So I'm just gonna create like 2 kingdoms, right? Let's create 2 kingdoms. So the first one, let's call it World 1. And the second one, let's call it World 2. So the thing is, like, what we're gonna do in code is that, did I type world wrong? Yeah. World, is that correct? Yeah, world, it's actually correct. World is a very complicated word, I'm not gonna lie, world. If he doesn't do the public, but when a class, you just don't declare any scope. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, like for this scope of project, doesn't really matter. So what we want to do in code, right, we want to go through all the kingdoms and then instantiate that prefab we created, that pivot prefab. And then that's the first thing we're going to do. The second thing we're going to do is that we're going to get those values from the vector 2, which is the position, right, x and y. And then, for example, I'm just going to show you practically here, right? We're going to instantiate it just like I did. For example, drag that, instantiate it. And then what we're going to do is that we want to change these values of rotation, the y and then the x, right, based on what is on that class. So that class has a vector 2, and on the vector 2 you can change x and y. So we can do that based on that, right? So we'll have to instantiate those on the sphere. So let's go back to script. Where is script? Here. There you go. So on script, we can go through all of the objects on start, right? So if you just do a for loop, just do bam, and then we can go through all of the kingdoms length, right? And then every time we pass through here, we can create a game object, which is going to be an instance of that prefab. So let's just call it point. So I just can go like instantiate. So, oh yeah, I need to make a reference to that thing. So the prefab is like public game object, and then let's call it point prefab, or just call it pivot, right? Because that's what it is. That's a point prefab, pivot prefab, sorry. And then I'm going to instantiate that pivot prefab. So the second parameter that instantiate gets is parent. So we'll have to make the sphere a parent. So just to be more organized, I'll make a reference to the sphere, like a public one, right? Or we could just make a, yeah, let's just make a private one, like a private transform for the world sphere. And then on start, we can just say that that world sphere is a child of that thing, right? Of the main object with the script. So we can just say like transform get child 0. That's the first child, and that's the world sphere. So if we just do like world sphere, cool. So what's gonna happen here is that we're going through all of the kingdoms, right? And every time there's a kingdom, you'll instantiate a new pivot prefab. We're not changing position, rotation, anything as of right now. But let's just go into Unity and fix everything. So on this big boy, just gonna wait it to load, we need to make a reference to that prefab. So the prefab is right here on the project's assets. So we just drag that, and then there's a pivot. So what's gonna happen here is that if I play, oh sorry, it's on maximize on play. This option is not very good always, but sometimes it's good. So if we play, what's gonna happen is gonna instantiate 2 of those pivots, right? Because we have 2 kingdoms right here. Like we have world 1 and we have world 2. So that's the first step. We just go through all the kingdoms and then instantiate. The second thing we want to do is that we want to rotate things based on this thing here, like the position here that we send. So that's just gonna basically change the rotation for the Y and then X axes. Well, and then we'll just do that. So like one thing I like to do in this case is create gizmos to help me out, like to visualize things. So let me just check out. Thank you so much, Jadi. She asks Yoshi sound. You want me to do a Yoshi sound? That's like, I don't know, like gobble? I don't know, man. So hard. I have no idea. I wish I had like a soundboard where just put like like Yoshi sounds or whatever. But thank you so much for your donation. Yeah, like I was saying, if we go back into the code, right? And then for instance, like one thing I like to do, like I was saying, is do gizmos to visualize it better. So on Unity, you have this function called onDrawGizmos, which is basically like little visualizer things you can see on on the editor, so it can help you out, like figure out stuff. So like for example, like we just set the gizmo color to like say red, color red, and we can draw different things. So the cool thing is here is that I can visualize before I even start playing. I can visualize where those points are going to be. So like the thing is, I'm going to like copy the gizmo from my original project, which is like pretty crazy, but I'll go over it, right? I'll have to adapt. Wow, so much errors. What the hell? Oh, I see what it is. I have to copy the whole function. There you go. Okay, so as you can see here, we don't have kingdoms because that's the name of the last, or is it? Oh, it's not, because it's a list. Should we make a list? Yeah, sometimes I prefer making lists than arrays, just because they're more flexible. So just so call them kingdoms, and then that's a new list of kingdoms. Kingdom points. There you go. And instead of length, we just do count here, because that's how lists work. Yeah, so so on Gizmo here, what's going to happen is we're going to go through all of the kingdoms, right? And then we're gonna create new game objects just for gizmos. This is kind of crazy. I don't know if anyone knows a better way. If you're watching and you think there's a better way to do this, but like basically, I'm going to do the same thing as I do on a prefab, right? Like I create a parent and then a pivot and then a point, and then I'm just gonna like move it forward on half a unit, as you can see here, like point, transform, position, and then after we move it to like that position, we're just gonna make it as so the parent is that object we created, and then we can rotate that object based on the kingdom's like position Y and position X. So let's just beforehand see if this works, the code from the original project. So let's just go back to Unity. Oh, there you go. So if you go back to the script, if we change values here, oh, there you go. See? Like it already works. What this means is it's rotating that value on its X rotation, and this one is the Y. Right? And like, let me know in the comments if you want me to go through like deeper into the gizmo thing, but if you guys don't need that, I'll just skip through that. I'll just check like my thing. Oh, what is Unity Editor? Okay, so this is just like an if statement to indicate that, so only do this if you're in Unity Editor. I always do this on gizmos or other Unity editor things, just because sometimes when you build games and you have that function going on, it will just return you an error just because it's not something supposed to go outside of the editor. So, you know. But yeah. Basically, like what I'm doing here on Gizmo is I'm creating a point and a parent. Those are two separate game objects. But then after I move that point halfway, like 0.5 on the forward axis, and then I just make it so its parent is that another game object, which is parent. It's the same thing as a prefab, right? So like basically that's gonna draw the wire sphere on that point, right? So draw a wire sphere on a point, transform, position. And then oh, that's if it's plain, sorry. I don't even think I need this, but you know. And then here is the important part. We need to rotate it on the Euler angles based on that position, right? Those position Y and position X. We're just doing this because it's kind of weird to think about it. Like position X and Y is pretty clear, but rotation is weird because X means you rotate up and down and Y means you rotate right and left. So it's kind of confusing at first. Like it's still confusing to me. So, but basically on gizmos, there's functions that like draw sphere, for example, is the one I'm using in Unity. Sorry, I forgot to change the Visual Studio window. Can we try to fix that? I really want to like, so it like automatically translate to, so kingdom select. You go, if I press on kingdom select Visual Studio, it goes to Visual Studio, and then you add that, and then when I press on Unity, it should go to Unity. Let's see if that works. So I'm on Visual Studio and then I'm on Unity. Did that work? Oh yeah, that's working now, right? Cool. Okay, that's better. I'm so sorry about that. I'm new and I'm learning to use OBS right now. So Master G asks why don't I use rotation? I don't use rotations because quaternions are super complicated to understand, and I have a better experience with like Euler angles. Euler? Yeah, I just recently discovered that's how you pronounce it. Euler angles. So I was like, oh damn. I said it on my first video, I said Euler, and then people were just like, yeah, I know it's cool, but like you should pronounce it Euler. Anyways, so I swallow come Come ask if I want to get a shout out. Sure. Lol, I'm subbed and I like. Yeah, man. Shout out to I Swallow. Oh, I get it. It's a funny joke. Nice. I just said it. It's okay. No problem. So yeah, Euler. It's a pretty complicated thing. But anyways, so I just made a bunch of like comments so that people could check it out. Right? But basically Gizmo is just this thing that you can only see on the editor. You can see this is the draw sphere. Right? So what we want to do is that we want to do the same thing on code. So if we get the point, instead of getting the actual point, right? I mean, the point is the pivot. That's why I should call it pivot. That's confusing me. So pivot. That's cool. So pivot dot is that transform and then Euler angles, right? And if we set those Euler angles to a new vector 3, and then we can just set the positions of, oops, sorry. So kingdoms, the y, the I, and then remember that inverted thing I said, like y and x. So kingdoms, and then go just like x and then 0. Boom. Isn't that not gonna work? Oh yeah, sorry. Pause. Y. Pause. X. So the same thing that's happening here, it's happening on the gizmos, right? We just create like this part on the code is already a prefab, so you don't need to do this. But on the gizmo, I'm doing this and then destroying everything immediately after, right? It's just drawing things and deleting. I don't know if this is the best way, honestly. I'm not super good with optimizing code, but this is the way I do it. But basically, like, this part here is the same as a prefab, and then that parent object I just rotated based on those positions, like positions which are rotation positions, which are y first and then x. And then yeah, like this is the same thing for the actual code. So if we go back to Unity, and then like I think this position is good, but we'll just change it so you guys can see it. Like for example, I'll just put this point right up here, and then this point right up here, for example, and then we can just press like play, and there you go. As you can see, the points on the game window instantiate it right where we want it, right? So basically, like I rotated it a bit, and those objects which are pivots, they rotated a bit to that axis. So that's pretty cool. So the other thing we want to do now is that we want to create a pivot, just like we did for the prefabs. We want to create a pivot for the camera, right? So if we create an empty game object, which is exactly at the center, just like everything else, and then we put the camera inside of it, right? So this thing here can rotate just like the game objects. So we can literally get those positions whenever you press a button, and then you can, let's say you press 0, right? And that's the first index on your kingdom list. And then you can just rotate the camera exactly like the thing. So we just rotate the camera and whatever. So we should just try to do that. I'll just call this camera pivot. And before we move on, I just want to read just a little bit more comments so we can move on if there's anything important. You warned him. The thing is, yeah, he warned me, but the stream, it has a little bit of delay, you know, so like it didn't, like, I didn't figure it out. But you know, who cares? It's just a dumb joke. Where are you from? I'm from Brazil. Thanks, Evan, for answering that. Can you leave the streams up? Yeah, I'll leave the streams up in the channel. Unfortunately, there will be like a small joke that someone made me say out loud, but I don't really care. How did you decide to rotate a camera instead of rotating the globe? I just decided it because on the game, on Mario Odyssey, it's actually the camera that goes, not the globe. If you move the gizmo in the camera view, do they update the kingdom list, or only when you change the position in the inspector? They only change because they only change when I change it on the inspector, because the position of the gizmo is based on the same thing as the kingdom list, right? And so if I move it on the inspector, it's basically changing the same thing on gizmos. So a lot of people are asking if I'm going to archive the live, and I will archive it. I'll make it available public. Like last stream I did, like it was weird because like it got unlisted, and then like, but it's kind of public because people that subscribe can see it every time. It's like, it's weird, but I'll figure it out, and it'll be there. So okay, so let's do the camera thing. So the camera thing is basically, let's just do something on update, really ugly, but then we can test it out, right? So if you do like, if input, which is the way we can detect input, get key down. So that's key code alpha 0, right? Let's create a function for that camera look just to organize things. So let's just call camera look, and then we can just say like an int and then index, because we want to say to what kingdom index you want to look at, right? So so like for example, we can call here, like we can call camera look when we press 0 on our, I'm just gonna do 1, that's more intuitive, but like when we press 1, we can call the camera function to like to set it up to the index 0. And so on the camera look, we're just gonna do like camera main. This is how you reference the main camera in your project. So just like transform, right? And then we don't want to get the camera, we want to get its parent, because the parent is the pivot, right? So if you get the parent, then we're gonna get that object that can rotate. Then we can just do Euler angles. Sorry, I have to remember it's Euler angles. God damn it. Euler angles. And then with that, we can just set it to a new vector 3. And so the index, it's what we're gonna receive. So let's create a new vector 3. Instead of like setting the whole thing, let's just do it this way, right? We want to first to, what kingdom point are we talking about, right? Let's just say K. And that kingdom point we are referring to is the one on the kingdoms list with the index. So like that's the object you want on that list. So then we can create a vector 3, which is a new vector 3. And the first thing, remember, is K pos Y. And the other one is is minus. Yeah, I have to remember that minus K position and then X. And this just can be 0. I have to name the vector 3. So that's, rotation. Right. And then we can just go, whoop. Okay. Then we can just go do this, right? So we can just test it out by doing like 1, and this is when I press 2. I don't know if there's any questions right now. I'll just stop a little bit and then see if you guys have anything to say. So Gabriel is saying that he wants to make a campaign, so I just make content like in Portuguese. I would love to do that, man. But like the cool thing about it being English is that like it reaches out to so many people, and I've heard from so many people all around the world, and I think it's super exciting to like. My idea with Mix and Jam is to like make repositories that are open to the world and people can download it and they can understand it. And the videos are also that. They're sort of like educational, they're sort of like entertaining videos. So if that's available for the whole world, that'd be super awesome. But I think the idea for supporting the country I am from. That's super cool. But thank you for your comment. Hi, are you using... So Bernardo asked if I'm using Remix for all of my previous videos. That's a good idea. Like the problem with doing Remix with all of them is that maybe they're like too complex to just go through one stream. I don't intend to go too much on this one. I'll just go to the basics, and then we can just go back to the pretty one, and then we could just like I can answer questions from you guys. But let's just test it out if this works. So like for example, what we did here is like boom. There you go. So where's the camera? Yeah, the camera's kind of far away, but I guess if we increase the gizmo, you see, like that's the really like ugly way of doing it, but that's how you do it, right? Like you just rotate the camera pivot. So if we do this, right, we can actually see it's rotating. Like, so 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's the ugly way. And the way I make it have more of a movement, whatever. You could do this in plenty of ways. You can hard code it. You can do like lerp on update and then that kind of stuff. But like as always on all of my videos, I use a plugin called DoTween, which we can simply add to the project. And whenever you want to use it on a script, you just use the DG tweening framework. So on that camera look, instead of doing like, oh, camera transform parent do Euler angles, I'm so sorry, I'm so dumb, we can just do rotate. So basically like DoTween has these bunch of like easy functions for you to like do stuff like really quickly and really easily, just tweening stuff. So do rotate is a function that literally like just enables you to make an animation for rotation, and it will tween those values like in a very cool way. I'll show you more about it. Like, so what's our end value? The first thing that the do rotates asks is for an end value. So we'll just do like, yeah, rotation is my end value, and then how long does that take? So if I say like, oh, I just want to take half a second, right? And then rotate mode, just rotate mode. This is like fast. Fast means that it never rotates beyond 360. So for instance, if an object is like here, instead of rotating all the way around it, just do it the fastest way. So just do fast. So let's see if that works. So the points instantiate. If I do 1, whoop, there you go. See? DoTween is wonderful, honestly. It's just the best plugin ever, right? And so that's the basis for the project. So for instance, like one cool thing that DoTween can do is like you have this function, right? Do rotate, and then for example, I can just do like set ease. So if you don't know, like easing is just a technique people use to like create curves to just increment on the animation. So like there are plenty of eases on the animation world. So one that I like to use a lot is called out back, which just basically means that it will do the animation you want. It'll go a little bit above it, and then it'll come back again. So it's the idea that something just like stops, moves a bit to go back again. So you'll know what I mean when I play it. And then if I just do like 1, whoop, 2, you can see it has like this bouncy effect. It's just because, like I said, it like does that thing of just going to the point and then just going a little bit over it and then coming back. And then just easy as that, that's how the whole thing works. And obviously when the code starts, the first thing you want to do is then you want to do a camera look to the first object. At least that's like, doesn't really matter what goes inside here, but that's what you usually do. Like for example, start game, and then it just looks at it, right? And then the thing about the project is that you go through the things, and then you just do the You just do the UI buttons and stuff. So in order not to lose too many times, because I want to read you guys comments, I'll just go through the original project. So yeah, let's just save this. This is the original project, right? So it's the same here, right? If we go to the main object, you can see that we have I have 5 worlds, and I can just rotate it. And just like the project we were working on, it just moves on it, and then we can just set the positions. And so if I play this project, you can see that the camera is doing the same thing. So here's the camera, and then when I press things, it just rotates to that point. The project has particles and post-processing, and it has this cool earth texture I found online, and then just cool stuff. But I'll take some time now to answer some questions. Let me just go back to my default screen. There you go. Giancarlo asked if I have personal classes for Unreal, or at least code reviews. I don't use Unreal often. I really got used to Unity. So the thing about Unity is that the thing about engines in general, I guess it's just preference. There's no better engine. It's the thing you get used to. So I don't give classes on Unreal, unfortunately. But I want to learn more about Unreal for sure. Toxiquid, oh my god. It's time to remix this jam. Sorry for being late. Oh man, thank you so much for donating. You already do so much. So guys, Toxiquid, is that I don't know if I'm saying it right. He's one of our Patreons. And he's just the best. He's a super talented guy. And if you want to check out commission work for artwork or anything else, I guess art, you can talk to him. He's a pretty cool guy. And thank you so much for donating, man. You really didn't need to, but thank you so much, though. I appreciated that so much. What else? What else have we got here? Did you know Shovel Knight is a 3D game? Yeah, I recently saw the episode for what's it called? I forgot. It's like that YouTube guy that breaks cameras from games, and then he can learn secrets from games. I recently saw that episode, and then it's super cool, the idea that it's made on 3D. Whenever you do 2D games on Unity, they're sort of they're 3D too. Boundary Break. Thank you so much, Trinox. Thank you so much. Please do the camera move from 0. I get from 0. What do you mean from 0? For it to start? Okay, so let's go back to that. So I created that function, right? Camera look, that I sent it. I have to tell what index. So basically I'm saying to what kingdom do you want to look at, right? So I can actually just send the kingdom here if I want, but I'll just do index for now. So this is the function that makes the whole thing look at the position. So I just call it on start. Start is the default Unity function for it to it's the first thing the script executes on the first frame, So that's it. Do you have experience in Unity 2D? Asks Trinox. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'm so sorry if I'm saying it wrong. But yeah, I do have. I started I think Mix and Jam has been the place where I broke more of barriers to work with 3D, because I used to do a lot of 2D stuff, just 2D pixel art, platforming and stuff. You know what I mean? Lerp, don't use Dude Swing. Of course, you could use whatever you want. Don't feel obligated to use anything. The cool thing about Dude Swing is that you can reduce the amount of work to single lines of code, and you have the advantage of using you can ease your tweens. So like just like I showed, you can do like a bouncy effect. You can do like a swoosh, like a just like there's so many things. You can do a smooth movement and that kind of stuff. And I mean, if you prefer to do things hard coded, that's super fine. Like honestly, like I use DoTween just because it saves me so much time, and the tool is great. The tool is fantastic. Someone says DoTween is bigger than Vector 3lerp. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Like the thing is, I never heard of DoTween. I mean, I start hearing about it for like 1 year ago, whatever, and like I didn't even know what it was. Like it doesn't sound like something so obvious. But then when somebody convinced me, like, yeah, you should totally use this, and then when I started using it, I was like, oh my god. And then the next step from that was I just used it in like every single project I have. Like honestly, it has not only functions, so like great functions for the transform, but it also have functions for like rigid bodies, for images, for sprites, and even shaders, right? Like for instance, if you guys work with shaders, you can like, you know, when you have to set a float, so you basically do like, oh, this shader, and then set float, set color. Like DoTween also has a function for that, so it can basically like you can literally like just like do it, and then you can set smoothly a float parameter to another float, and it's pretty great. Oh my god, Hugo Brito. Oh, thank you so much for the donation, man. Thank you so much. He says, love your content, keep it up. That's so sweet, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. This is great. Honestly, you guys are incredible. What's out of nowhere? Oh, you mean the thing? Yeah, man, that's insane. Thank you so much. What else? Do you guys have any more questions on the project, on the Mario Odyssey project? I can go through that if you guys want. Cause like, maybe I'll strip away everything I did here for the thing, right? Like a material, just call it skybox. I'm just messing up this project because I have my repository, and I can like do whatever I want, and I just can reset it. So this is Unity default skybox. You see how much like a skybox makes a difference. And to create a new skybox, you just go to create material, right? And then when you're creating your material, you can go to skybox, and there's plenty of options. For this one, I think I use panoramic, right? So panoramic, you can just input a texture. And so I just downloaded this thing, which is not necessarily even space, right? But it basically like creates a panoramic image for your thing, and it makes it look so much better. Honestly, like, well, I'll just do that again, like default, and then panoramic. Just makes it look so much better. And not only that, I think it derives color from the lighting, from what hits characters or hits object in the world from that skybox. So that's why it kind of looks more bluish on the world. OBS got stuck on Visual Studio. See, what the hell is going on? There you go. I'm so sorry. Let's do that again. Let's do the skybox. I'll have to make sure it's on Unity. Just let me know if I don't have super chat thing on my. Oh, you don't? Well, that sucks, man. YouTube, yeah. YouTube has to fix that right now. My Patreon is this one right here. You can check it out. Don't feel obligated to help. Of course, I would love to. It means the world to me. It's super cool. And like, yeah. But thank you so much for considering helping, even in the super chat or even in the Patreon. Thank you so much. What's your name again? Muhammad Sarib. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Unity. Sorry. Back to Skybox. So, I'll just create this object, right? This is the Unity default Skybox. Are you guys seeing Unity now? Yeah, you are. So this is the Unity default Skybox. And it honestly, it's not bad, but like, you know, it's just the default thing, and it doesn't look great. But in order to create a new skybox, right, you can just go to create a material. I'll just create a new one, just so you guys can see the process. A material, let's call this skybox 2, and then you go to shader, then you have to choose skybox, and then the standard word is procedural, right? You can change some stuff on procedural, like exposure or atmosphere thickness, right? You can see here. You can do some pretty cool stuff with that already. But I like to choose the option skybox panoramic, because then you can input a texture to it, and then the texture will just wrap around the world, right? The scene. And so I downloaded this image from the internet, right? It's just like this panoramic image of like the skies sort of like thing. It's not necessarily the space, but like it turned out pretty cool. And so that makes the scene look much, much better. You know what I mean? Like it's already better. Fernando, thank you so much for your donation, man. A Monument Valley, so his name is Fernando Peguero. A Monument Valley video on how to do those illusions will be awesome. Oh my god, man, thank you so much for your message, for your donation. Thank you so much. Honestly, it means the world to me. Yes, I have it on my notes. Whenever I have a new idea, I just pop it up. Open on my notes on my phone, and then I write it down. And I saw one post on Reddit once where people were showing the secret behind the illusions on Monument Valley. So that's definitely an idea for the future. So I mean, thank you so much for telling me that. And like, yeah, guys, I always like hear whenever you guys have like suggestions, and I always write them down. Obviously nowadays there's a lot going on, there's a lot of ideas going on, but like, yeah. And one of the cool things about Patreon is that like we're doing polls to decide the next video, because obviously there's so many games, there's so many ideas I can work on, and sometimes I just want to see what people are more interested in. And so like one of the pledges in Patreon allows you to like be able to like to like vote on polls to decide what's the next video. So it's a pretty cool thing. And then also I want to give a shout out to my Patreons. Is that how you call them? I think it's patrons, right? Anyways, they're the best people in the world. They're just like, you know, getting out of the way to help the channel grow. So like, thank you so much for those guys. They are the best, and honestly, it's such a great thing. And obviously, like, here's the link for the Patreon if you consider like helping the channel grow, and it means so much to me. But let's just get back to business. What else can we do now? So I'll just answer some quick questions. So the Cobalt Pickaxe asks, do you know any programming languages besides C#? I do know JavaScript, and that's pretty much it. No, I think I'm trying to specialize in C#, just because, you know, like I'm just kind of that point where I'm trying to be comfortable, because whenever you're comfortable with something like a programming language, then it means that like you can prototype things pretty quickly. You know what I mean? Like you have ideas out of your mind and you straight up know how to code them. I don't necessarily know how to code them. I do a lot of Google. Trust me, I Google a lot of stuff. But basically, yeah. What else? Brandon. Hey, Brandon. I was talking about you. Make the Just Cause grapple Spider-Man rope thing. Yeah, Spider-Man thing shows up a lot. And honestly, like that's one of my top one ideas. I'm like, on my free time, I always try to prototype it really quick, but it's such a hard thing to get it like to look like for it to have a good flow and good animations, because it's very animation dependent, and I don't do the animations. I download them from Mix and I was gonna say Mix and Jam, sorry, from Mixamo, and like they don't have a lot of swinging animations. But yeah, that's definitely something I want to do. And the Just Cause thing, I have to play Just Cause just so I can understand, because I never actually played the game. I just played the demo. So MD says, I'm new here. Would you tell us how you learn Unity programming and using the engine? So let me just go. Should I just go back to Oh, I am on my default screen. See, it's not changing to the Unity screen, not anymore. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. I learned Unity. It's kind of like I work with Unity every day now on my work. I have a full-time job, which I work with Unity, and I learned part of it. I've learned on college. I did a game design course, and then they teach Unity, and the other half is just me, just like breaking stuff, trying different things out on Unity, and documentation, googling out like what the hell are quaternions. I have no idea what this is, and then people on the internet are pretty great. Like they'll help you out like as much as they can. Uh, there's I got lost in the questions. So Mohammed says, "Hey man, good to see you. I want to ask that you can explain a bit more about the realistic look of the game. I mean, how is it done?" And then Trinox like responded like a lot of post processing and good models. Yeah, I mean, on this case, why? Okay, so does it change? Is it on the Unity screen? Yeah, it is on the Unity screen. So like in this case here, right? If you just do the thing that makes it look realistic here, and I'll create a new sphere for you guys to see, like models. The Maya sphere, the default Maya sphere is very smooth, as you can see. Like it doesn't have like rough edges like the one in like Unity. So I got this sphere here, right? The thing that makes it look realistic is a material, right? Like the material where I apply normals and then just like those textures and then general textures. So I'll create a new material here so you can see it. So I'll create this new material called live, and then this new material, let's paint it red, right? This is the material. Doesn't look realistic at all, right? So the thing is, like, instead of putting a color on the albedo property, we'll just do a texture. And this is a texture I got from NASA's website, I think. It already looks pretty cool, right? But there's like some adjusting you need to do in order for it to look better. Like it's not like right? Like you have to adjust this kind of thing so it doesn't look like metallic or anything. Like how do you want your world to look, And so instead of using the standard shader, I don't remember what I used. I used the specular setup. Okay, there you go. Specular setup, right? Because then you can just set the smoothness. And I think this is what I set for the smoothness, right? And then there's a bunch of other things you can put other than the albedo. So the specular, you can use the images of the cloud, which also came with the same website. So you can basically set its smoothness, right, to around here. And so you can set the specular property to the cloud image I also found on the internet, which it came in the same package. You can download it from the source files. And then on the normal map, they also provided the normal map for the Earth, so you can like literally like make it so like apparent. But if you don't know, like normal maps are just techniques that a shader will read those informations of colors and then create the illusion of like 3D height. Not illusion, like yeah, it's basically like illusion because the model doesn't change. The model still is sphere, but then like you can just import this texture, which is this purple thing that has like height properties. Will just make the Earth look at like it's an actual 3D thing, like mountains are coming out of the sphere and stuff. And then what else did I put on the material? I guess I just did like emission, color this. Oh, there you go. Yeah, like there's a bunch of things you can fiddle around when you're using this kind of things. And obviously, like Trinox said, you can also do like a bunch of post-processing. So I'll just do a zoom in of this scene, right? So if you go back to the normal scene, this is how it looks without post-processing. Like, boom. It's a small change. It has bloom, right? But not only does it has bloom, it also has like motion blur when I move through worlds. So this is without it. And if I add it, then it just has this like really cool like Unreal Engine sort of like effect that people associate with like Unreal. But yeah, this is a cool thing. Now let's just get back to the scene, to my scene to answer some questions. Jay asks if I have played Overwatch. Yes, I did. One of the footages I used on the Overwatch video, the Dragon Strike, that was a thing I recorded on my own computer. I haven't played it for a while, but yeah, I do play Overwatch, and it's a pretty cool game. It's one of the best Blizzard games, I think. It's pretty cool. Like, it's different. It has superb animations and stuff. It's pretty cool. Zabi asks, why don't you learn Unreal? Is that because of C++ experience? Not really. Like, I think actually like Unreal uses a lot of visual coding, right? They have like the blueprint system. Like, it's just preference, honestly. Like, Unity was the one I got introduced to and teached to, right? And so I got comfortable with it. I messed around in Unreal a bit, but I like Unity. You know what I mean? Like, it's just preference. If you can make more visual effect videos, I'll be interested to support you on Patreon because I love that work you made on the previous videos. Thank you, man. Bernardo, thank you. Yeah, I mean, the idea with Mix and Jam is to make different kind of videos, right? Like, I want to make like a more mechanic thing, and then I want to make a more visual thing, and I always try to make it so then I like, you know, like alternate between topics every now and then. You know what I mean? So that's the basic thing. Wow, we've already been into 1 hour until this. Wow. I didn't even notice. So much time. I think this was a good episode. Like, yeah. If you guys, we'll just hop back into the project, to that scene we were creating, which is the remix. Oops, sorry, that's the code. To the remix scene. There you go. So like, there's just polish between this and that point, right? So in that case, for example, the camera was like a little bit closer, right? And then, for example, this is what I'm gonna do here. I'm just gonna get the same materials for the world. See? It doesn't look so great just because it's the Unity sphere, but whatever. And then we'll get the skybox. See just how it looks already better? Like, it's already pretty good. The Unity sphere looks very bad. I'll just replace that with the Maya sphere I got. There you go. If I just do this, right? And then replace the materials to the world material. There you go. Looks better. And then obviously, to add post-processing, you just do like a post-processing layer. And you can also get post-processing volume is global. Then you can add a bunch of effects. Let's just add a bunch of effects and go crazy. Unity, bloom. I love bloom. Let's just add a bit of bloom. There you go. This is bloom. And then yeah, like you can add a bit to make it look like it's more shiny. Don't exaggerate though. Then you can also, like, for instance, let's do like you can do a bit of vignette. Why not? Vignette's pretty cool. Like, see, like, don't overdo it as well. Just do it up a little bit. And then you can, for example, do chromatic aberration, which also looks pretty cool. There's this like corner effect thing, right? And so if we take that simple thing we did and just put it some post-processing and the right materials, it already looks pretty cool. Like, I know the movement looks pretty weird because we did it in such a way that it's like it has an easing, but like we can remove that. There you go. This is without easing. We can do easing like set ease It's probably not showing the Visual Studio window, so I'll have to. Oh, it is. It is. Ease. What's it called? Is it Circ? I'm not sure. Like, this is a cool thing. We can always test and play around. Yeah, this one it goes really quick and it just stops. It looks pretty cool. And like with post processing, it already looks pretty amazing. And so yeah, let's see if you guys have more questions. Please send me out more questions. Like if you guys are enjoying the stream, just put a thumbs up right in the comments. I will really appreciate that. I didn't even notice I was going for so long. Yeah, I've been going for so long right now. I didn't even know. It's like 1 hour and 14 minutes. Thank you so much for everyone that's been watching. But yeah. What game? So this guy asks, so Exiabra asks, what game are you excited about? Mine is Cyberpunk. Yeah, I'm excited for Cyberpunk too. But I'm also super excited for Final Fantasy VII, which we never know when it's coming out. And what else? What else am I excited for? I'm excited for some Nintendo stuff. Animal Crossing, definitely. If there are any KK Sliders fans out there, just shout it out. I'm excited for Link's Awakening too. That's a pretty cool remake and so cute, so wonderful. What else? What else am I excited for? I'm trying to remember. There's a lot of cool things that there's already out there. So I'm having a hard time to remember what's coming, right? But yeah, pretty cool stuff out there. But Cyberpunk, yeah, Cyberpunk's gonna be cool. Although I still think that the first person perspective, I don't think I don't think I love that. But I think I'll just get used to it. I don't judge the decision. It's pretty cool. KK Slider is the best DJ and guitar player. In the completed scene, the camera is rotated a little bit to the upper left. How does that work? Doesn't the camera look straight to the red dot? Also, thumbs up since you asked. Thank you, Trinox. So I did a bit of an offset. If you want to take a look at the original code. So we'll just go through that. This is the original code, right? So the thing is, what I use here is something I call offset. That's the visual offset. Where do I actually apply it on code? Look at Kingdom. Isn't that? Let's just go to the original project and see. Because I remember I did a little bit of offset. I don't quite remember exactly how I did it. But I remember I had a gizmo to indicate where is that offset. There you go. Like, you see this wire sphere? That's where I indicate where is the offset. So, where's the offset? You see visual offset. So, basically the understanding here is that it will look at the sphere. So if this is 0, 0, right? It was going to look right in front of the sphere. But with the visual offset, I just can like literally rotate it a little bit more at that position, like at that rotation, and so they're gonna look to that position. They're not gonna look straight forward. I mean, the camera's not gonna look straight forward. So it's just a little bit of a thing I did. So if we play it, yeah. Let's just remove gizmos. Yeah, there you go. Like that's the point they're gonna look at. So basically, the camera is supposed to like look at that point with a bit of an offset, and then you need to apply that same offset to all of the kingdoms. You know what I mean? Like when you do the actual instantiate and stuff. That's why whenever I move the offset, everything moves. You see, like, so if I change the offset too much, I'll have to reposition the things. That's just the way I did it. Like, it's not necessarily the best way ever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way I did it. You talk like a gringo. You don't look to be a guy from Brazil. Thank you. I think that is that a good thing? I don't know. But yeah, thank you. But yeah, you know, I try my best. Thank you so much. Have you played a Guitar Hero game? I did. I played it a lot when I was in high school. And like here, I remember people didn't have the actual guitars. They just like my friends only had the game, so we had to play it on the controllers, right? So just wild, like it was pretty crazy. Uh, what else? Was that a cat? What do you mean? Was that a cat? Like the sound? No, it's just like. Uh, you guys have any? Do you guys have any questions? So Gustavo says, "Fala André, uh, continue with the awesome projects." Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for watching. So I think I'll be finishing the stream real soon. I hope I don't know if it was really like sometimes it feels like it's rushed. Like I don't wanna do the stream for so long that people get actually bored. But I hope that the stream gets just gets this behind the scene kind of stuff, and then obviously if you guys have any questions I can answer more, and I look forward to more of the remix and jam videos. And thank you so much everyone for that has been watching. And why do I have earbuds? It's because if any notification sound plays out, you guys won't hear it, right? Something like Discord, like ba, and then I'll just be like using it. Lucio's asked post process volume. How did you do it? Okay, let's do that. I'll show you that. If the screen changes, come on, go to the Unity scene. There you go. So first thing, you have to go to the package manager. I'm not even sure if this window is going to show up, but you have to download the post processing thing, right? You have to download the post processing package, which is on this window, package manager. And then after you do it, there's two things to the basic post processing effect. So you need to put a post processing like layer. This is the component. You need to put a layer on the camera. So whatever camera you're using, you need to add the component post process layer. And you can create a separate object just with the post process volume. So in order for it to work, you need to put it on a layer, and Unity recommends you to put it on a single, like a separate layer, which they create by default, which is called post processing. So the post process volume is on an object, which the layer of the object is post processing. And if you go back to the camera into the layer only it only gets post processing effects from the post processing layer. And once you get that, you can just go back to the post-processing thing. You have to set is global to true. And then you can just straight up add effect. You see this little button here, add effect? Just go and then you can add new things like grain. Let's add a bit of grain. So you just do where is the grain? Oh yeah, there you go. Whoa. Not colored, and just a little size to make this retro look. Should we play with the grain? Let's play the project. There you go. There's a bit of grain, if you want to make it really big. That looks terrible. Without gizmos. Just make it a little bit. There you go. Was that clear? Anyways. Post-processing in general, I can't get that to work on 2019. That's how you get it to work. I hope it helped. I'm not sure if that. My only feedback from the stream is that it got a little sidetracked sometimes, but other than that, it was fun to learn more. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Since this was the first one, thanks for your feedback, by the way. But since this was the first one, I guess it just means that I have to learn more about how to do this. You know what I mean? Maybe I have to set scenes, just like those cooking shows where they have scenes where they have the next step is already prepared, so you can straight up skip to it, and then if people have major questions, I can just go back and then tell people. But thank you so much for feedback, Trinox, and for watching that so far. But yeah, guys, I think this is enough for the stream. Of course, there's a lot of feedback regarding the stream and also the videos, but Yeah. Um, what else would I want to say? I want to say thank you so much for everyone that's been watching so far. I feel like watching the stream for an hour or so, it really means a lot. Like, it really means you're getting out of your way. You could be doing something and you're watching me. So I'm super grateful for that. I honestly don't know how to thank you guys enough. So pretty cool. I hope you guys are excited because the new Mix and Jam video is coming next week. And I can't say a lot about it, like, because I want to keep the surprise going. But it's a pretty cool project, and it's something new for me. It's definitely something new for me. So like, if you guys watch Mix and Jam and you guys appreciate it, I just want to say thank you for being like for all your support. Like, everything is support. Like, everything is support. Like, comments is already a great support, and then likes, and then shares, and I get so many beautiful messages from people getting inspired, like people that want to get into game development, and it's so beautiful, and it's it's great. What else? If there's a Discord, yeah, there is a Discord, Bouncy, but like, for now we're doing it for Discord members, for the whenever like $1 tier you do it, you get into the Discord, just because we're learning if like the Discord process is better to be public, or if it's better to be an exclusive thing. That's still something we're learning. Like we may open it sometime, we may not. I don't know, like, we're still trying that out. Like Kuma said, thank you, Kuma. Kuma is one of the how do you say that, patrons? But yeah, I think that's how you say it. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Again, I'm excited with Mix and Jam, and I hope you guys are super excited. My only like, the only reason why I'm doing Mix and Jam still is because of the support of everyone, not only Patreons, but everyone that has been watching and subscribing and telling their friends that want to get into game development. And like, it's great. And like, obviously, I have a full-time job, which is another thing, and like, it can get really like tiring sometimes, but you guys are the fuel, you know what I mean? Like, it's just fuel. It's just like, it gets me pumped, it gets me excited, and it's just cool stuff. But yeah, like, if you want to and you consider helping the channel, you can donate on Patreon. I think the scene changed. Like, yeah, I'm new to OBS, I'm so sorry. But anyways, if you like, don't feel obligated to. It's just a thing to help, and like, I just open it so that people can support. People can talk to me directly. People can share their projects and talk to me, and just like, in general, give their feedback and help. And I want to say hello, thank you so much to all my beautiful Patreons. I keep saying patrons, but yeah. They're incredible, and like, like, I think we're doing a good job as of right now, as of like keeping content going, and then like not building like huge paywalls for anything. It's just like, we're trying to build a cool environment. Like, it's just people that want to support. I really like the idea, and that really warms my heart. I hope that everyone that donates really knows that it's just something that I really appreciate from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, and that's the link for the Patreon if you consider helping. But of course, that sharing and watching and subscribing, that's already a lot of support, and that's great. Like I said in my trailer, like, the intent with Mix and Jam is not to build like something different for people that support with pledges. You know what I mean? Like, it's always gonna be free. The videos are always gonna be free, and then GitHub repositories are always gonna be accessible. And I hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. So yeah, let's just read, like, I'll read more, just final comments, and then I'll finish it out, okay? So thank you guys so much for watching, but I'll just answer those questions. So let's see what else. Thanks for the stream, loved it. Thank you so much for watching. I think it's Patreons. Maybe it's Patreons. I thought it was patrons. I don't know. Thanks you for the content, and I hope million subscribers and views. Thank you so much, MD. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Akuma says, "Bring those good vibes to the podcast, bro. You are just awesome." To the podcast. What podcast? What podcast? Uh, I'll just let him answer what podcast, and then we'll finish this off. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. It's been pretty cool, and of course, the one in June. Oh, Akuma, that's you, right? Right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I'm participating on this podcast. Make sure to follow me on Twitter because I'll definitely put it there, right? Uh, I'll put the link there. I was like, oh yeah, guys, I'm participating on this podcast that people want me to introduce Mix and Jam and the whole idea behind it and why I started doing it. And I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Please read my comment above. It says Manstone. Where's your comment? Hey, I've been loving your videos. I really like to see how much time it took segment or something at the end of the videos or like a time lapse. Keep up the great work. I thank you so much for your comment, by the way. Manstone123. Thank you so much. The thing about the time is that I don't want to say that always because I think it creates basis for people. Like sometimes I take 2 days to make a thing because I'm a really good vibe and I'm really productive. But other times I'll take like 4 or 5 days because I'm not feeling very productive. I have a lot of stuff to do in the house. Like, so there's no base, you know what I mean? Like, because like, it doesn't matter if I did it on 2 days because maybe in another day I would take 3-4 days. So like, if people ask on the comments, I'm always glad to like answer, oh yeah, this took me like 3 to 4 days. But one thing that people should take in consideration is that I have a full-time job, I have a house to take care of, and I have a lot of things. So it really depends, like, yeah. But I think your idea is pretty cool, and I've seen people talk about it. So I think that's probably something I'll do. Kuma is asking what podcast. The podcast is some people reach me out on Twitter. They want me to participate in a podcast. I don't know a lot of details. I think it's a podcast that's going to start. It's a new thing. It's a new podcast. And they want to have me as a guest. So I'll be posting those on my social medias. Twitter. My Twitter is, I'll put it on the chat. Whoa. Why try again? Hold up. So this is my Twitter. So wait a sec. I don't know why YouTube isn't allowing me to put the thing. But yeah, my Twitter is Andre _ MC. Just like I was gonna say just like my YouTube, but no. But my YouTube is Mix and Jam. But anyways, I'm gonna finish this off, guys. If you have any questions, please reach me out on Twitter, or as always, if you want and you can support the channel. And yeah, there you go. That's my Twitter. Thank you, Alexandre. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. We're gonna end this off right now, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day, beautiful night, beautiful anything you have right now, because I know there's a lot of people from anywhere. So thank you so much, and bye, and I'll see you on the next remix and on the next Mix and Jam that it's coming next week. So I hope you guys are excited for that, and thank you. Bye bye.
Novo Clearman acaba de vez com a caspa. Os desafios